We've got wires, we've got sideways extensions, we've got water, we've got a lot of four-way tech, and we're going to see if we can make some more today. Yeah, first thing is we got to get a clone command in here, just because these things break a lot, and so it's nice to produce lag. Here's our new machine, and what we can do is we'll work on this one, and that one will be our safe copy. So actually, no, we just broke this one. Okay, so what we have to do is actually take out the sticky pistons, because all the observers fire when it clones, and as a result, a lot of the switches activate, and the thing tries to move, but it tries to move in like every direction at once. This should just be a basic wire, fires off, yep, comes right back. So we should be able to put a turn in the wire. Yep, just like that. Oh. Except we need a return mechanism. Okay, turn test number 2. Yep, there we go. We should make sure that putting these mechanisms in did not break the normal movement components. Huh. Wires aren't supposed to fire when the machine moves. So if you look at, kind of the line dividing the middle of this machine, we need this sticky piston on the left side of the line for this to work. So actually just moving this over one set of modules to right here should fix it. It's movement. Movement looks good. I've never actually put 2 turns in one wire. So turn once. Yep. Turn twice. Yep. Input movement control. Okay, great. And with a couple more turns in place, we should have a clock. So it's turn 1, turn 2, 3. This is weird, yeah, okay. I reshaped it a little bit so that now it's a clock again, but it's actually going to be inputting movement control while it loops. So this should totally break the machine because the machine's going to try to move while the clock is running. But I just want to see what happened. I made a backup of this world so that we could just go back to the working version. And yeah, that didn't work. So we're back in the backup world now, and I broke one of the wires in the wrong order, and it set off and pretty much re-broke the machine in the backup. But it's just interesting the way these machines break. They always have some kind of weird side-to-side loop going on in a portion of the machine. So I'm going to see if I can fix it. We could just make a copy, but it's usually actually pretty educational to make yourself fix a broken machine. You can even see exactly what went on here. So this component got just moved at the wrong time while it was part of the wire loop, and you can see how it's offset diagonally from where it should be. And as a result, if we follow this line of modules, this edge piece did not get moved far enough to the side and is now creating a loop here because this whole row is like one block contracted from what it should be. If we go over here, push this component in place. That's over here. Push that, and looks like the machine is fixed, actually. It's usually much harder to fix a broken flying machine than that. I forgot that also the component holding the sticky piston needs to be on the outward side when facing along the wire. Okay, I'm trying to make a wire input that you can toggle on and off right now. So like this one, you can move the kind of important sticky piston up and down, and when it's down, this thing will pretty much just be inactive, no wire functionality. The tricky part is, though, I keep running into problems. Like right now, this component right here is 1 block over push limit. This should actually worked. I got around it by moving this input sticky pistons component to one of the lower modules, because you see all the modules making up this kind of grid mesh here. Half of them are 1 block above the others. So go ahead and power this. Okay, it still works like a wire. And then we gotta test movement. It's good in that direction. And lastly, this one. Looks good, okay. And then we have this sticky piston down here. So I can toggle that this piston off. So now, we can still move it around. Except now, if, whatever mechanism is inputting into this component, say, tries to power it, nothing happens. So like, for instance, if we have another wire going into this one, see right there, nothing happened, but if we toggle this back up and then do the same thing, now the wire will actually turn. And so this gives us essentially memory latches and controllable wire configurations on four-way flying machines. If we could get input to this piston down here somehow, which is going to be tricky because this component right here, like, we could try to do something with observers, but this thing's already at the push limit, so this is going to get tricky here. Okay, let's make our predictions for what's going to happen here. So we have redstone block. What I believe should happen is this component will get moved by this piston before this has a chance, because nothing's going to be updating this piston to make it notice it's being bud powered, so it'll, move back, the signal will bounce back like these wires do. And when this thing bounces back into place, then this will update, it'll realize it's being bud powered, and will begin extending. At around the same time, this piston will be powered by the observer down below, pushing this redstone block away, unpowering this. And so I guess what we're going to have to find out is whether or not this piston extends and fires like normal wire input, or if it gets moved out of place first. We don't know which of these sticky pistons will kind of be faster or win. Okay, send it off. Ah, right. Okay. Okay, redstone block now replaced with observer to prevent that problem. Ooh, okay. That's interesting. Okay, I've done something kind of weird here. This wire just doesn't really, do anything besides behave like a wire now. Yep. But this wire, right next to it, okay. Ooh, okay, we might be onto something. Oh, that's so cool. And we just deactivated the wire. And can we reactivate it as well? That's so cool. Okay, I think we got it, man. This setup did fail one of the 4 movement directions. So if we move it from right here, what's going to happen is that this observer is actually going to fire before the bottom one. And the result being that now this piston right here is going to get powered. And I think is actually going to just straight up push this component backwards, leaving this component unmoved. So let's see if that's correct. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Did that just fix itself? Oh, what? Okay. Okay, let's try that again. What in the heck, man? Okay, big movement. Constricted. Huh. Maybe it's just not even a problem. Okay, I think we could still get rid of that jittering, because we actually have we're 1 block under push limit on this component, so if we move this piston up, we can add an extra observer. And I believe that should fix the problem, actually. So let's go ahead and test movement in this direction. Okay, what happened now? Okay, I promised Pingu that I would install carpet mod by the next Slimestone video, so this seems like a pretty good opportunity to use it. So let's do 1/4 speed and just watch what happens. Goes in. Okay, yep. So this thing got pushed back, and this did not get moved, which that's exactly what we thought. There's nothing weird going on there. Pushes over. Oh, okay, so because this is pushed back, That is weird. Okay, I think I know what was wrong with our last setup, is that by setting up our piston like this, it does solve the problem that this piston is no longer getting powered by that observer, but now this piston has nothing to push against. So I think we can actually remedy that by just putting this observer right there. Okay, let's try that on, see how that works. Still on 1/4 speed. Alright. Oh. Oh! Okay. Okay. And then, if I try to trigger the wire, nothing happens, but if I toggle it back on... That's so cool. Alright, so that means we have wire-togglable wires on four-way flying machines now. Okay, so I went ahead and tried to make something a little more complicated with this new setup, so if I send that out, you'll see a bunch of weird just movements going on. And, yep, there we go. So what just happened is that now this switch right here is connected to this prismarine lantern that doesn't do anything, it's just there for, like, marking where stuff is. If I flip the switch, you know, sure enough, you get some movement over there by the prismarine lantern. And so now, what I've basically done is made a binary counter here. So it's really simple, just enough for a proof of concept with 2 bits in it. There we go. So this bit was just switched off. It was on before. So this wire is still connected. But if we go ahead and move this one more time, the wire will disconnect. So this bit is flipped back on. Oh. Wasn't even looking at the right one. There we go. And now the wire that I just demonstrated has been disconnected. So what we have is a wire that gets disconnected and reconnected as the machine moves. However, it is only reconnected every 4 movements, so you can start to get like 4, 8, 16 longer patterns of functionality on flying machines. So there we go again, still disconnected, and then finally this is that's the 4th move, and I think this thing should work from this direction as well. Yep, same thing. So this one toggles, and then we should get that one toggle, yep. And then there we go, now the wire's reconnected. So we have wire reconnecting every 4 movements. I should also shout out the world-renowned Slimestone engineer KK, another YouTuber who came up with the idea of putting binary counters on 4-way flying machines. So what's powering this is just this setup, which is a wire which automatically fires when the machine moves, only in certain directions, though, which could actually be pretty useful. So if I move it from that direction, nothing happens. So this is kind of weird. It almost counts every 4 movements from, like, what is that? -z and -x. And I think it also counts this direction. Yeah, this direction's weird because only one of the auto wires fires, but, you know, we can work that out. This is a good enough proof of concept for me, man. So we got switches, memory latches, and basic binary counters on 4-way flying machines. It's been a productive day. I'll see y'all later.